Hello Choi cadets! We are here today from Team Red to show you how to properly shine your shoes and get that mirror shine we all want. Follow along as we share our tips on shining your JROTC shoes. Here are the tools you will need: shining rags, a toothbrush, kiwi black shoe polish, kiwi parade gloss, water, and a hairdryer. You can pick most of these tools up from your local Walmart. However, we'll also leave the links to these in the description down below. Now that you have the tools you'll need, let's take a look at your actual shoes. You've probably received a brand new pair of shoes. You can tell if you have new shoes or not by checking for shoe creases like these. If your shoe already has a lot of creases on it, don't worry, this makes your shining process easier. Skip to the time indicated on the top right corner. Otherwise, keep watching. These shoes need to be broken in. While the creases and folds may seem unsightly to you, we assure you that they are necessary in order to achieve a good shine. These creases are the points where your shoe naturally flexes every time you walk. If you shine your shoe without breaking them in, the crust of the polish that you form over your shoe will crack as your shoe bends when you walk around, dulling your mirror shine completely and covering it with black polish dust. Put your shoes on and go out for a walk. To be completely safe, we recommend you walk around in these shoes for at least a few hours for 2 or 3 days. But if you're in a rush, you can try and artificially speed up the process by bending the shoe like so. Your shoes should look something like this once you finish breaking them in. You are now ready to begin the shining process. A quick tip from Team Red: if your shoe is big enough, we recommend you try and stuff a full unopened water bottle into the shoe. This will make the shining process a lot easier as it keeps the surface of the shoe smooth. If your shoes are too small, we recommend you try and find other everyday objects that might fit into the shoe. The first step is to unlace your shoes and store the laces somewhere safe. We'll come back to these at the very end of the video. Let's talk about layering. To put it simply, whenever you rub polish over your shoe, you're adding a layer to the shoe. The more layers of polish you have on your shoe, the easier getting that mirror shine will be. Our shining method uses a lot of layering, so keep that in mind as you watch this video. Pop open your can of polish and pour some water into the cover lid. You will be shining your shoes in sections, not as a whole. You'll be shining here, then here, then here, then here, then here. This method allows you to focus on the small spots more. A common mistake a lot of beginners make is shining the entirety of the shoe at once, when in reality this only slows down the shining process. Make sure to go in segments. Wrap your fingers into the cloth like this. We recommend that you use 2 fingers, although you could use 3 or 1 if you choose to do so. We'll start by covering the entire section of your shoe in dry polish. No moisture on it at all. Get a good amount of polish on your cloth. Rub that cloth all over the shoe section until it's completely covered and dry polished. Next, we'll be using our hairdryer to melt the polish into the pores of the shoe. We recommend going with the medium heat at first, although once you feel confident enough, you can choose to speed up the process by going to the high setting. Hold your hairdryer over the layer of polish and turn it on, and wait until the polish looks shiny and wet like this. Once that happens, move on to a different part of the shoe and repeat until the entirety of that section has been melted. You will notice that after a few seconds, the liquidy quality of the polish fades away back to a cloudy gray. That's completely fine. The only thing you should watch out for is overheating the shoe. A good rule of thumb is to hold the hairdryer in place for 5 seconds longer once you see the liquidy quality appear, and then move on. Don't hold it for any longer than that, because otherwise you might damage the shoe itself from the overheating. Now switch to a clean section of your cloth and completely drench it in water. Rub a tiny bit of polish onto the edge, and using that cloth, rub the shoe like this for a few seconds. Your goal is to cool down the shoe from the heating it just experienced. Switch to a dry piece of the cloth and with a gentle hand, dry the shoe from the water. The 3 steps you just saw now, layering, heating, and cooling, are integral to building a good foundation for your shoe. You should be repeating these 3 steps for quite a long time. While there's no specific number of times you should be repeating these steps, we recommend that you go for at least an hour per shoe, if not more. These 3 steps will repeat for some time, with you layering, heating, and cooling the shoe over and over again. Don't be satisfied until you can convince yourself that these shoes look like mirrors to you. If you have Prey Gloss on you, add a final touch-up coat. Rub a tiny bit of Prey Gloss on a section on your cloth, put some water on it, and rub it onto your shoe. This enhances that already existing mirror shine and will add a tiny layer of protection on your shoe. Once you're satisfied with your shine, grab your laces and start lacing up your shoes. JROTC has a specific way of lacing your shoes. The phrase goes, right over left as I see them, with no bridges. In other words, orient your shoes so it looks like as if you were looking down at them, and lace them so that the right lacing goes over the left. If you lace your shoe correctly, it should look something like this. No bridges, right over left. Every once in a while, you'll also have to clean out the grooves of your shoe with a toothbrush. Get a toothbrush, rub a bit of polish onto it, and just scrape the dirt out. And that concludes our tutorial on how to shine your shoes properly. Remember, a good mirror shine is what wins over your superiors and your friends on uniform day. If you enjoyed this video, or it helped, hit that like button and subscribe. Follow us on our journey to be the best stroke team in the nation, and consider joining us. We're always recruiting.